Hi everyone, it's Mike again, and sadly I've got to use this YouTube channel with this new YouTube channel. Well, it's been going for about 3 months, but I've got 10 subscribers on it. And I don't know whether this is happening because YouTube are stopping me from getting subscribers, and also because the channel's shadow banned, because YouTube's little robots, what do they call them? Algorithms. They know who your service provider is and your number. Is it your IP number or whatever it is? So they just shut you down when you put a video on there, which is dreadful, because it's taking away my freedom of speech as a person, and it's stopping, not stopping. It's stopping you from listening to me. Today I'm going to just give a brief, I say it's brief, but it normally ends up 20 minutes long, talk on the coronavirus. And I'm looking at the figures here for Germany and for the UK, and this is how useless our government is. I don't know if you saw it this morning, or was it yesterday morning, on Good Morning Britain with Piers Morgan, the actual person who's involved for pensioners and people like that. She was actually laughing on the TV when Piers Morgan was asking her questions about old people who were dying in the nursing homes. It was kind of like a joke to her.
Is that you just answer straight questions. Is it true that 4,000 people... Why are you laughing?
I'm coming to answer your question, but I'm not...
What do you find funny about this?
I don't think it's funny in the slightest.
Well, why do you keep laughing then?
I'm not laughing at all.
I literally just asked you, is it true that 4,000 elderly people have died in hospital and all you can do is laugh?
And, you were looking at this lady and you were watching her laughing and you're saying, is that because she's nervous or is it because she's narcissistic in the way that she thinks? Because a lot of our 650 MPs, especially the ministers that sit on the Tory government now on the cabinet, they are narcissistic, sadly. Some of them are even psychopaths. They have no empathy at all with people. People mean nothing to them. The deaths of these old people in these nursing homes mean nothing to them. The fact that these poor old people are dying, I'm not all that young myself, are dying, and, the government, these MPs, just don't care that these people are dying and their children aren't there, and their grandchildren, they're not there, they're just dying on their own with, a carer at their side, which is great, that the carer's there holding their hand or whatever. But it's just absolutely unbelievable. Thank God we've got these carers and these nurses who do things like that, But anyway, what's the population of Germany? Well, let's take a look here. The German population is 83 million. How many people have died in Germany of the coronavirus? 3,592, right? And that's with a population of 83 million, right? How many people have died in the UK with coronavirus? This is shocking. 12,868, and that's not counting the thousands of people who've died in the nursing homes and at home. You could probably add another 5,000 onto that, you understand, to that figure. This is absolutely unbelievable, nearly 13,000 people have died in the UK compared to 3,500 people in Germany. Absolutely unbelievable, And what does that tell you about Germany? That Germany and the German government care about their population and their people. They've been giving out tests, they've got more laboratories than what we have got in this country. And it shows you how the Germans are. They've always been efficient people. They've always looked after their nation, not like us. Our MPs don't care about us. This cabinet and this Prime Minister don't care about us. At present, they're trying to make out that the Prime Minister in this country, in the UK, Boris Johnson, is a hero because he caught COVID-19. They're trying to make out that he's a hero because he survived it. But what about all these people who've died? The nearly 13,000 people, 12,868, and all the old people, 4,000 or 5,000 who've died in the nursing homes. And what about the doctors who have died? All the doctors and the nurses in this country and the carers. Let's not forget about the carers. It's absolutely unbelievable. And what about all the service providers, the people who work in the supermarkets on crap wages? you know, on the minimum wage, who work in supermarkets? What about the wagon drivers who deliver all the food? And all these vital people, you know, who are all on low wages, what about them? You know, it's absolutely unbelievable. And this is the way things are in this in this country at the moment. But, you know, we've got, as I've just said, these figures here. You know, Germany's got a population 17 million more than this country, yet only, and I'm sorry for keep going on about this, you know, they've got 17 million more population than what we have, yet just 3,592 have died. And yet, in our country, 12,868 have died. What does that tell you about our government? You know, and what they're trying to do now with the media, with the British Brainwashing Corporation, the BBC and Channel 4 and all these other names that are ramming multiculturalism down our throats. All the newsreaders are now from different countries. What they're doing is they're trying to normalise, just like they normalised that, they're trying to normalise that which isn't normal, and they're trying to push it down our throats. You know, and it really angers me. And obviously, what I say to the British people is open your eyes to what's going on, and stop accepting that which isn't normal, because that's what they're doing. They're trying to normalise that which isn't normal. And I said that on my last video. But, you know, we're also looking at this, you know, this, what have we got here? Challenging COVID-19 restoration against the state. And oh yes, I was going to get to, you know, we do have people, courageous people speaking out. I mean, you've only got a small population in Southern Ireland, is it? 4,000, nearly 5 million, 4 million, nearly 5 million people. And you've got this lady, Gemma O'Doherty, this courageous journalist, along with her friend, you know, John Waters, another courageous journalist, a fantastic author and journalist. And you've got these people now, they've took the Irish state and the Minister for Health to court and saying, look, this isn't right what you're doing, forcing people to turn their homes into prisons with no bars. They're taking them to court, and they're challenging the government in the state and the government in Southern Ireland. They're challenging them. They're saying, look, this is wrong what you're doing, you know. People should be able to go out. You can't keep people in, you know. And that's not as big a population as here. So you can't really compare Ireland with Great Britain, because we've got a massive population here. But what can we do? You can't even get tested. I mean, I'm like I said in my last video, I've been sent a letter saying you are on the most vulnerable list. Here's the number, ring this and we'll help you. Rang the number, putting me national NHS number into it. Doesn't even recognise the number. Filled in the information on the most vulnerable website, the government's website. Heard nothing from them in 3 weeks. Absolutely nothing. What a load of garbage. They're not going to do anything for anyone, this government. It'll all be over by the time they do something. They're not testing enough people, you know. They're not seeing whether I've got it, whether people are carrying it. I mean, I haven't felt too good lately, but I look all right. But this time of the year, I don't feel at my best, you know. But anyway, we've got these people, though, Gemma O'Doherty and people like John Waters. You've got people like Paul Golding and my friend Paul Rimmer, you know. They shut his channel down. I normally put videos on that, and he's got 13,000 subscribers, but he's had those subscribers for nearly a year because they've stopped people from subscribing to that channel, and every now and then they just shut that channel down for 4 to 6 weeks, and you can't put a video on it. And they keep asking you this, well, they ask for these security questions, which you haven't got, but you've got the password to get on there, but they're not interested in that. They're asking you all these questions, you know, and you can't answer them, so you just sit back and wait. It takes 4 to 5 weeks, 6 weeks, and it comes back on again. So, you know, you can watch it, but you can't put anything on it. That's why I'm putting stuff onto this channel now. I'm not getting any subscribers. So I say, if you're watching this, you know, please subscribe to this channel. The more people I can get these videos out to, the better, you know. But sadly, it's very hard to get through to the British people, the Irish people and the British people. Well, it's really hard to get through to them because they seem to be absolutely indoctrinated. You can't get through to them. You can't tell them that the media are lying to them, that most of the journalists are sort of brainwashed. Not all of them, but a lot of them are. But some of them are just careerists, absolute careerists. They're just interested in their career. It's absolutely unbelievable, I have to go out and do my shopping because I can't get anyone to do it for me, Can't get any of my family because they live too far away. And this is the situation that I'm in. I'm really angry at the moment, and a lot of people are angry too. My neighbours are angry. Everyone is, because we didn't put enough measures into place to address this issue when it came upon us. And now it's going to get to the state where, well, I think we are. We've got more people died now in this country than in China, where this virus originated. And I believe what a lot of people believe. I believe that this virus was laboratory, created. Somebody in the laboratory caught it and took it out into the environment in Wuhan. I believe that. And I don't trust these billionaires, and I don't trust the World Health Organization. I wouldn't trust that as far as I could throw it. The guy that's running that is absolutely corrupt. You've got these billionaires who are in with him, the main one being Bill Gates. I wouldn't trust Bill Gates as far as I could throw him. All of these people are psychopaths and narcissists. Like I've said before, there are, millions of narcissists and psychopaths, and you've got these narcissist and psychopath billionaires at the top, and they're in all our governments. In this government, they're on the cabinet, and they're all globalists anyway, the governments around Europe and around the world, and they're all in with these billionaire narcissists, these billionaire globalists, and this is what we're being led by. A couple of thousand psychopaths at the top. Not that, there's 2,000, which I've said before, 215 billionaires on the planet, but not all of them are bad. Say about 100 of them at the top, but there's the very top ones as well. People like George Soros and Bill Gates and others, who were involved with them. And look at the people who they were involved with, I mean, you've only got to research them and you'll see the people who they were involved with. That guy who hung himself in prison, I can't think of his name. They were involved with Weinstein, all these dreadful people, not of this world. These people are not of this world. They're not normal. They don't think like we do. They think they are gods. They're in a different dimension than us. We're just, in their eyes, serfs, peasants. That's all we are to them, to be manipulated. You see, this is the way the psychopath and the narcissist think. People are there to be manipulated. You're not a human being. You're an item. You're an object, which should, they can manipulate. That's what you are. Even our children, which I keep saying this in every video that I do, our children are being indoctrinated in school. They're not being taught to be critical. They're not being taught to create a world that they want to live in when they become adults, which I said in my last video. They're being taught to a world, they're being taught to adapt to that which is being imposed upon them, by these people, by these psychopaths. And this is why our kids are all walking around brainwashed. And there's no excuse now, Although Google and YouTube are censoring everything, and Facebook and these major platforms, Twitter, are censoring everything. There are still other platforms which I've spoken about before, platforms like BitChute and Gab, and I think I forget what it is, Telegram, the other one, or Telegraph. You got these platforms now, which they can't get any control of. The governments, the major platforms now, the Western governments have got control of them. Not the Americans. I'm not talking about Bill Gates in America. I'm talking about this country here. Where people like Yvette Cooper, she was on a Home Affairs Committee pressurising Google, and YouTube, which have got their offices in YouTube have got their offices in Dublin, pressurising them. I mean, Gemma O'Doherty, this award-winning journalist, she got barred off YouTube and barred off Facebook. an award-winning investigative journalist. Unbelievable. It's unbelievable that she was barred for telling the truth, you know. It's refreshing for people like me when they see Gemma O'Doherty. It really is. What a brave woman. Brave little woman. That's what I see Gemma O'Doherty as. And her friend John Waters, a brave man. Great guy to listen to, and she's great to listen to. And, you know, you got people in this country, like I said before, Paul Golding, and other people who speak out in this country. You know, we've got them. They all speak out against what's happening. You've got Anne-Marie Waters of For Britain. You know, you've got Paul Rimmer. You know, I'm normally on his YouTube site, but they've shut it down at the moment, so I've got to come on this. He's a great guy. He was talking with Paul Golding on YouTube last night, live on YouTube at 8 p.m. last night, if you want to go and look it up, you know. But I don't know how many people will see this video, but it won't get many views on this channel. I mean, the one I done last night only had about 30 views or something like that, you know. But that's the way things are. YouTube are shadow banning the channels. Any channel I put up, they shadow ban it, which is unbelievable, you know. They're taking away our freedom of speech. You know, they're banning us from everywhere. Anyone who is a truth seeker now is looked upon as a threat, you know, and the people who are really behind this are the people at the top. These billionaires who run everything, who run the governments are like, I show pictures of this, like, you know, they run all the governments on the planet like puppet masters. It's about time we woke up to this. It really is. And it's about time we woke up to the fact, and this isn't conspiracy theorist, that these ministers, just like over in Ireland, this health minister, these ministers and these billionaires like Bill Gates, they're psychopathic. They're certainly narcissistic. You know, that's how they got to the positions where they are. And as I've said before, they've got an army of millions of psychopaths and narcissists behind them, working at local government level, working within Whitehall in this country, in Whitehall, to back up these narcissistic MPs or ministers who are sitting on the cabinet, the rest of them in the House of Commons, over in Ireland or over there in the Dáil. It's unbelievable, you know. There should be a test, you know, to test for psychopathy and narcissism. Before you can become an MP, you must be tested for being a psychopath or a narcissist. Because there's never going to be any peace on this earth, and we're never going to reach any utopian existence whilst we've got these people on the planet running things, you know, these psychopathic billionaires and these people in government, you know. And I'm not saying like we should do away with capitalism. I'm not saying that. I mean, I've got nothing against capitalism, you know. But we need to check who's a psychopath and who isn't. Who's an empath and who isn't. I'd sooner have empaths running things than psychopaths. And it's quite obvious that people like Gemma O'Doherty and John Waters are empaths, you know, tell the truth. And it's really refreshing for me to watch these people. And they're in Ireland, you know. I mean, I'm in England, but they've really encouraged me. And anyway, that's my bit of a moan for tonight. But I'll put this on. But I'm, you know, just angry. You know, I've had this letter from the government and it's a load of garbage. You know, they're gonna, you know, they put instructions into a place to help us and do this for the most vulnerable. What a load of crap, you know what I mean? You know, this we can't even get a mask, and I've said that. I say this on all my videos. You can't even get a mask. Neither can you get any hand rub. You know, so you know that stuff you can put on, this alcohol stuff where you don't need water. You can't get that anywhere. No shops sell it, you know. But there's another story behind that, which I'm going to cover, you know, connected with what happened to all the protective clothing in this country. Well, I'll tell you what happened to it. It was shipped out, but I'll go into that in my next video. But what can I say here to all these people, to Paul Golding, to Gemma O'Doherty, to John Waters, to Anne-Marie Waters, another Irish lady, Anne-Marie Waters, and to all these people you know, who are exposing things. And this guy, this guy who's trying to expose 5G, I can't think of his name now, you know, but Gemma O'Doherty has interviewed him. And all of these people, you know, it's great. And we're very fortunate to have people like you there. And, you know, if you want to watch Gemma O'Doherty, she's been barred off YouTube, but she still makes videos. She's been barred off Facebook. So what you do is you go to a website, which is, I think it's www.gemmaodoherty.com. I think it's as simple as that. That's her website. Look it up, because she puts live streams on and she tells you what she's doing, and she goes around Ireland and she challenges the police to their faces. An incredible woman, a fantastic investigative journalist. If you look at her past and the things that she's done, like I said, we've got people like her in this country. We don't have many journalists like Gemma O'Doherty and John Waters in this country, but I suppose they are there because the journalists in this country are all a bunch of careerists. They don't care. And like I said before, you know, and I've said before, sorry, on other videos, all the guys who run the newspapers, what you call them, the editors, they're all narcissists and psychopaths, mainly narcissists, covert narcissists and such like. And the people on the TV, the BBC, what can you say about them? BBC Newsnight, the BBC News, they're all narcissistic as well. They're all the same, careerists, they're only in it for the money, for themselves, for their own careers. But isn't it dreadful to become famous, you know, by brainwashing, to become famous because people are being indoctrinated? That's the situation. You know, until we can face up to this fact and stop the indoctrination in our schools. We're all indoctrinated. The teachers are indoctrinated who are indoctrinating the children and don't even know that they are. They'll tell you that what I'm saying is rubbish. You know, it's unbelievable. They've brainwashed us and indoctrinated us into thinking that critical thinking, right, is wrong. You know, they brainwashed us into thinking that. And we, you know, to have a natural horror to the truth. And there's a word, is it adversity to the truth. We must hate the truth. We cannot accept the truth and reality because we've been indoctrinated not to accept it. So what we do is we live in a world of unreality. A world of unreality, that's what we're living in and walking around. And like Gemma says, and John Waters and Gemma says, Gemma O'Doherty that is, if we all got together and said, no, we've had enough of this, if enough people got together, we could, you know, really get to these narcissists and these psychopaths. But anyway, I'm going to stop going on there and, you know, tell you all to be safe. But it would be great if you guys could subscribe to this channel, give me some subscribers. I'd really appreciate it, you know. And pass this video on, you know. Pass it around on your Facebooks and that. But I understand if you're a bit worried, though, because Facebook might, you know, shut your Facebook down because you put me on. But I don't think I'm that important. Not as important as Gemma O'Doherty and John Waters or Tommy Robinson or Paul Golding. But Paul Golding's on YouTube now anyway. He's got his own channel on YouTube. But that's the way I like to be. I don't want to be famous. I don't want anyone to say, oh, look at him. Look at him. He's, you know, he's on YouTube and all that because, you know, it doesn't bother me. You know, I've been on radio. I had a live, a 20-minute live spot on Radio City in Liverpool. That went on for 18 months. You know, and that never bothered me in the least. I've never wanted to be famous, and I'm certainly not a careerist, you know what I mean? But I just want to get the truth out there and support people like Gemma O'Doherty and these other people I've mentioned, and there's lots more than them. You know, they're all on the internet there if you want to look them up. If you want to look truth seekers up, that is. But anyway, thanks very much.